starts 10th ahead of teammate and reigning world champion.
The World Championship by points, done to Aragon, who wins here at Silverstone. So Pol Espargaro on the Repsol Honda without any
medium front, soft rear tyre. There's been changes for the two men alongside him on that front row. Both We've opted for the soft front tyre.
Mind the gap. A bit of a sense of humour from our guys in the truck there as we get ready then for this
Trins. That last corner thriller with Marc Marquez was just zero. We've got another British Grand Prix Classic laps and 40 minutes.
Who could make it? Possibly number 7. Cal Crutchlow's back, the fiercest eyes in MotoGP as he says a fun
on the grid. Marc Marquez, the 8 times world champion, another rider that made an 11th hour call on the grid. For the first time since 2014, he's 8 times world champion.
7 points his lead, Quattararo, 7 podiums are in 2021, and he's practice 4 as well.
67,000 then have flocked through Prix. Likewise, Cal Crutchlow, he's going to get a hero's reception as well at the checkered flag.
Celebration is brilliant, a fantastic atmosphere. Oh wait, the green flag waves. Fabio Quattararo, Pecco Bagnaia did not get away well. Pol Espargaro will lead into turn 1 ahead of Quattararo.
Towards the 5th gear, 180 mile an hour Magnussen Beckett section for the first time. And Espargaro's had a superb stint third early on here in Silverstone.
There's number 89, Jorge Martin, trying to find a way through on Marc Marquez, but excellent stuff from the Italian.
Kagami out well wide into Stowe as well. Stowe, one of the favourite overtaking opportunities around the Silverstone track. Bagnaia
over at Everton, and now there's contact and they both go down.
Yet again, it's going to be another potential DNF for the 8 times world champion.
Pol Espargaro is there in third on the approach. Had contact into turn 7. He's in 6th.
It's in the family, brotherly love of the British Grand Prix. Brilliant move that by Aleix Espargaro. It's not easy to pick up the slipstream down the Wellington straight there for Aleix Espargaro, but brilliant on the brakes in the Brooklyn.
Back to Ducati rider Jorge Martin. Unfortunately, not the same fate for Marc Marquez.
His potential last time out in Austria when he crashed in those really tricky wet conditions. There's been a couple of big opportunities.
See what happens. He was into turn 7. Now watch, there's contact from Marc. They'll go down the hill and into turn 8. Martin gets it a little bit hot inside. And then contact back from Marc Marquez. That one will,
and he's leaning on the right hand side, so he can't really see. That's with Marquez and Martin, the second contact, because that looked a little bit more questionable.
Let's just recap. In third is Bagnaia, in fourth the championship leader Quattararo, and then it's Miller
together on a Premier Class podium. I might be getting a bit carried away here. It's early days, but we've got this
best races in MotoGP history just 2 weeks ago in Austria. Are we in for another across?
Quattararo just can't find a way back through yet on Pecco Bagnaia, lower than Aleix Espargaro ahead of him.
He's in line here for his on the opening laps. A couple of places up for him
this weekend from Valentino Rossi. Quite comfortably reeling in Pol Espargaro ahead of him. It's just getting far too hot.
Remind you that earlier in the weekend as well, Aleix and Pol, the brothers, had a little bit of a spat, shall we say. He's got to just see the checkered flag and try and learn. He's in 19th place at the moment, behind Miguel Oliveira and Cal Crutchlow. Up the inside of the Ducati of Pecco Bagnaia, and he holds his line as well. The Frenchman is up to third.
Tighter line through the loop. There was just no way that Bagnaia could respond. Now it's all about getting the crucial drive now, focusing on hunting down the Espargaro boys.
On board here with Pecco Bagnaia, number 63, the Italian. His teammate Jack Mir is in 6th, and he's got good speed. He's broken away from his teammate Alex Rins in 7th. Both
Joan Mir there, peeling through, elbow on the deck through Koch, just about a 10th quicker than Pol Espargaro, the race leader.
And based on recent history, Matt, of Mir's a bit very well for Joan Mir to be in this position and this fast at this stage of the race.
It really does nothing where he sits. So halfway around this 4th lap, Binder 12th, just behind Alex Marquez.
Really struggling, the Frenchman, and dropping back from the leading group. Aleix Espargaro on the approach with Dovi on his way to well as he's now hunting down his teammate, his brother.
It's all going to be about the endurance. That's a beautiful move. Quattararo into turning in on the Aprilia to through Aintree and run his normal line. That was beautifully done.
It goes through on him as well, so the Aprilia rider has gone from 2nd back to 4th. That was
ahead of him. He showed the pace in FP4. He showed the rhythm that he could potentially break away.
Lovely move from Aleix, and he had to do that. He doesn't want to on the blue Suzuki, desperately trying to find a way past Jack Miller. Of course, Ducati's notorious.
Brilliant.
Fabio Quattararo is in a prime position here, chasing down the Repsol Honda.
Pol Espargaro and Fabio Quattararo make a bit of a
championship leader, Fabio Quattararo, who's barely put a foot wrong this year. We know that he's got the rhythm, so he could sit back and learn.
You can just see there, backy picture, Rossi just struggling to going through Farm. you've got to be confident to make that kind of move. Fabio Quartararo, the world, to try and make a decisive gap. That's exactly what Plan A will be now. Championship leader.
Yeah.
On the power, down the hanger straight. That's a really nice move.
Yeah, and you make that move there, and he knows that there's nobody
To go. He found nearly 0.6 of a second on the Spaniard in second place. Quartararo now is
The fast Maggots and Beckett's, the fan wall in the background, the Monster Energy Grand Prix of Great British Championship contenders if he crossed the line. Only made his way back to the UK.
Yeah, pretty forlorn looking. Number 8, Aleix. He'll have the inside line going through turn 9. They'll try and get the power on as Gro has got himself up into second place.
Yeah, he's got to try and hunt down Fabio Quartararo now. That gap is as
Quartararo took the lead, and in that lap, he's immediately found 1 second. The race, when he doesn't make the start, third or fourth, wasn't he early on? He went just run. This spells danger for the chasing pack.
when Mir went through on Miller, he made a mistake into the first corner and on that as well. The two Suzuki.
Quartararo has just set the fastest lap of the race. 0-0 Spargo doing to hang in there, but on that last lap, Quartararo took 7/10.
Good race. He's up into 8th. Tino Rossi. You'll be able to see them in the background there. Quartararo has over Aleix Espargaro as Alex Rins goes through on the world champion Joan Mir. The race
This phase of the race, Alex Rins, we know how good such a finesse rider, so Rins was sometimes prone to those unforced. Best we've seen from Alex Rins probably since 3.
He must see the checkered flag today, though.
Yeah,
Too many
Alex
crashes in good position.
7 seconds, it's going to get bigger and bigger. It is through sector 3, it's nearly 1.9 seconds. You've got to fear Espargaro.
He's got to make hay while the sun shines, though, Matt. Yesterday in the press conference, Fabio Quartararo, when asked if he's singing, he's flying. He's 1.8, nearly 2 seconds clear of Aleix Espargaro and his different story in the closing stages.
Yeah, I mean, Aleix Espargaro is running a very impressive pace. He's just on strong, impressive speed. It's just not good enough to go with Fabio Quartararo. Aleix is not getting slower.
Espargaro, though, would take a podium all day long. P2 for the number 41.
The 32-year-old was on the podium. Valentino Rossi lost 8th place on the previous lap to this young man. The top couple of 9th places in the Austrian doubleheader, and Alex Marquez now up into 8th spot. He's got 1 P.
And Jake Dixon is still in 19th. He's 9 seconds down on Oliveira, but he's lapping in the 202s, which for his debut.
Yeah, that last lap from the Italian was a 2:01.6, which was 1.5 seconds slower. Set that all up through Village. Set it up through Village, pinched the inside line from Pol Espargaro, going in
Date from him, and he's showing here what he's made of. He loves this Silverstone circuit, that famous. Here are the two factory Ducatis. Pecco Bagnaia 6th, Miller 7th. That would be a disappointing day at the office. Moment for Pecco.
Yeah, and of course, he also, like Fabio Quartararo, on the gross MotoGP race here today, and crucially, he's surrendering a massive chunk of points to the Quartararo, who now leads by nearly 2.3 seconds as they sweep out of Chapel on lap number 9.
Nerves are jangling there. We're getting closer to half race distance.
This is all going to form, Steve. This is all dual session. Saturday afternoon, FP4, that 30-minute session. That's when you really get an indication of where the rides are. And really, when you delved into the lap-by-lap analysis, the top 2 men were Quartararo and Aleix Espargaro,
who has fallen out of championship contention and pull a move on his teammate Pecco Bagnaia. Go at turn 14, then around to Aintree and onto the Wellington, Brooklands, Luffield and Woodcote. On board here with Jack Miller. Is he going to be able to go through? He is going to have a look.
This could be a real shift in the championship picture, couldn't it, in favour of Fabio Quartararo place. Johann Zarco's just nowhere. He's way down in 12th place. He's not been at the races all weekend. This could be the day we look back on and think this was one of the key moments. If Fabio Quartararo does win, was one of the key moments.
Valentino Rossi here, 9th at the moment, ahead of Tacnelli today, although he has just put in his fastest lap of the race. Looks like he's finally got some heat in that medium rear tyre.
Well, he was famous for backflip celebrations. I mean, that would have been flipping crazy, wouldn't it, if he'd have gone for the hard rear tyre. And for second place, it's still advantage Aleix Espargaro ahead of this trio. Fabio Quartararo of these 3 Spaniards. Aleix Espargaro on the Aprilia, still keeping Alex
Line here for by far his best result of the 2021 season. I don't think even he believed that the win.
5th and 7th at the moment in the 201s. I just wonder whether they are struggling on that soft front tyre. Mid to load 2 flats with ease, no problem whatsoever, but you just wonder whether the late change.
Good laps there for Rins and Pol Espargaro. Pol Espargaro, in fact, his fastest lap. Jack Miller has just... I wouldn't turn your screens off just yet. because Fabio Quartararo with that soft front, is he going to run into it? Does the tide turn as the laps tick down?
He's done another 2:00.47 while he's still that sort of 0.4, half a second clear of Aleix Espargaro. While he still comes across the line and season his pins, he'll still be reasonably relaxed. Although you can never relax at any stage in modern day MotoGP. Hanging on there, putting up a resolute fight, the poleman in 4th place. There you go, Aprilia Racing they've just signed Maverick Vinales, one of the top men in this MotoGP World Championship, to do the GP. Just days after Maverick Vinales, the Top Gun, is signed by Aprilia to be potential
factory in Noale, Italy. They deserve a podium, but it's not done yet. There's still a lot of hard. The 2019 British Grand Prix winner. There's Jorge Martin, unfortunately his race. Alex Rins as he gets a bit closer to Aleix Espargaro in the hunt for 2nd place.
Yeah, Jorge Martin's always said how much cares the Spanish legend. I'm not sure he wanted to be quite as close as it was on that opening lap through turn 7 and 9. Seriously building here, seriously being ramped up by this man, factory Suzuki star Alex Rins. For a third of this season had even been completed.
Oh, and he's wide. Aleix Espargaro is wide, Matt, and that's going to relax.
Yeah, that pressure has to be. And Alex Rins didn't really have to work for the mistake to make. He's not the first and won't be the last man to make that mistake in this British Grand Prix, but it's dropped him right back into the... We know the Aprilia, it's so good at tyre management, so good at nursing its tyres, particularly the rear. Engine performance, a lack of acceleration. He does have to get on the throttle that little bit earlier on corner exit than his rivals, and that does use about rear tyre life at any stage yesterday. But is that the problem that's potentially derailing his
Silverstone circuit? And he is homing in here on the factory Ducati. Soon to be 7th.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but Pecco Bagnaia ising him dearly here. He knows that this is a disastrous result for the championship, with Quartararo now
on that last lap gone through on Joan Mir as well. So Jack Miller is now up into 5th place.
He looks like a championship charge. Zarco still in 12th place. He's all over the rear tyre.
He's looking for, believe it or not, his first podium of 2021. He was now Pol Espargaro there on the Repsol Honda, number 44. Looks set here. Podium spot.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they've been scrapping and fighting together since they were toddlers. There is a rare MotoGP podium finish here. So much at stake. Aleix Espargaro struggling start to 2021. The Repsol Honda, can he make it onto the box for H?
To be on the podium here today in Silverstone. Everyone's struggling a bit actually on this last lap or two. Everyone's pace up ahead. They crossed the line. A 2:08 from Quartararo is still good enough to have a 3.4.
Yeah, and Fabio Quartararo again. In fact, again, the Aussie's the quickest man on circuit.
10th, then it's Zarco, Lecuona and Petrucci, because Valentino Rossi's lost 4 or 5 places.
Yeah, Aleix Espargaro's regrouped pretty well after that mistake at Stowe, which let Rins into 2nd place. I'm here, and he's certainly got the speed at this stage of the race to get back into this podium battle, no question.
All different manufacturers, Yamaha, Suzuki, Aprilia, Honda. 3.6 seconds up the road now is Quartararo. This is the man on the move though, Jack Miller. He's homed in now,
which is not an easy task. Then Quartararo adores the Yamaha, loves this.
This is the Aussie, and he'll be able to see these 3, as you can see on your camera lens, and he'll and head around Woodcote Corner. There'll be 6 laps to go.
3.5 seconds clear of Rins in 2nd place. Miller, well, he was a second quicker than the 3 men ahead of him, the Espargaro boys and Alex Rins.
Trying to find a way through on Pol Espargaro.
This is a humbling afternoon.
Where Miller goes through, a mistake from Pol on the Repsol Honda into Stowe Corner.
On Pol Espargaro, I was just about to say, poor old Pecco Bagnaia just come over the line in 8th place. Feel like cost him. Mir likewise, he's struggling big time as well.
These guys up. He's destination P2, the Aussie, number 43. Iker Lecuona, by the way, shout out. He's 12th at the moment, homing in on Johan Zarco. There's 6 laps to go here at Silverstone. They don't look like catch
places now. Luca Marini, his brother's just gone up into 15th by Bastianini. He's only 1 podium places here in Silverstone. Fabio Quartararo's already over the line and long gone. And Jack Miller, again, it's another lap where he's a comfortable half a second quicker than the men directly.
Takes that 8th spot, but Binder flies through into Maggots and Beckett, so it's another place drop then from the... He's up into 8th place.
This is going to be shocking for Pecco Bagnaia. It's shocking Sunday. On the brakes as hard as he dares on that soft front tyre down into Stowe.
Well, Fabio Quartararo on the nose of this man, Joan Mir and Pecco Bagnaia here at Silverstone. He's already got a 47 point.
Yeah, and once he's got himself into this position, he was passed by Mick Doohan. You can't really see Fabio Quartararo fluffing his lines. That looks like it's the biggest bit of daylight he's been able to put between himself and Aleix Espargaro of late. In fact, it is.
Iker Lecuona's made up another place. He's now gone through on Pecco Bagnaia. He's up into ninth. You're looking at the fight for second, just in behind as we come around Woodcote Corner. There's just 4 laps remaining of the British Grand Prix. Much.
Looks like Pol Espargaro in terms of his podium charge. He's 3.7 seconds behind Pol Espargaro in 5th. He's got a second then back to Alex Marquez.
He's known as
Aleix Espargaro then, it's not just the podium he so desperately wants, it would be a history of late in the Newali factory when Aprilia came in this position. Totally transformed motorcycle. It's a totally transformed Aleix Espargaro, brimming with confidence, but history-making podium, but Jack Miller piling the pressure on him 4th.
Yeah, get the head of him.
This would be late heartache, wouldn't it, for Aleix Espargaro? I mean, he's worked so hard. He's a competitive bike, it is right now in MotoGP. It's why Maverick Vinales has been convinced to get on that motorcycle to ride that bike, because he feels like he can be competitive and fighting for race wins. And so much credit to Bola, who's had such an influence since he came in. Can they hang on to that third?
There are just 3 laps remaining here in the British Grand Prix. Fabio Quartararo leads. His second. Aleix Espargaro still hanging on there in 3rd, ahead of Jack Miller.
We expected, is it the soft front tyre that he's just not had any feel with, had any confidence with? We've eroded his confidence, but it's been a very bad day.
Magnificent day for this guy though, and Aprilia. Aleix Espargaro then has just got a couple of laps.
Stay tuned, because Aleix Espargaro will be in floods behind the scenes to put Aprilia in this position. He knows that 119 races since he had that sweet taste of the Prosecco.
He's now able to put up that fight. Aprilia is so good grip-wise, got so much acceleration that Miller can't. In 2nd place, is he now coming under threat from Aleix Espargaro?
Pecco Bagnaia with his package underneath him at the moment.
A few riders have suffered on every corner. Brad Binder's continual charge through from Mir here might not even finish inside the top 10.
Well, you saw that shot of Mir accelerating, Steve, coming out of Copse.
Iker Lecuona is having a great race, a fantastic race. Likewise, Alex Marquez and Lecuona, brilliant dry race performance from him.
This is going to feel inevitable. There's nothing that Mir can do about it. Powerless and defenseless to stop Iker Lecuona.
There's going to be 6 different manufacturers in the top 6.
And that's the beauty of modern day MotoGP. Don't feel every manufacturer now as competitive as they've ever been. Can he break Aleix Espargaro and Aprilia Hearts late on here? Fabio Quartararo to this Grand Prix, he's been utterly brilliant and dominant. It's all about this battle though for the final place on the podium.
Try and absolutely launch it through. Maggots and Beckett's here to get close enough.
This last lap, Aleix Espargaro, 2:01.369. Miller, who did a 2:0, was just over 3.5 tenths.
Turn 7 safely negotiated for Fabio Quartararo. He is really closing on Aleix Espargaro.
Oh, we're going to get another
little bit of a wobble from the rear end there of the Aprilia of Aleix Espargaro, who'll be feeling a bit anxious. And
GP paddock than Aleix Espargaro and Jack Miller. Which one of them
here he comes.
is going to be on the podium? It's coming here from Miller.
Oh no, comes back at him. They're side by side as they fight for the remaining podium spot.
Through Aintree, and it's Aleix's podium finish for the factory Aprilia team. Look at the tight defensive line that Aleix Espargaro now runs into your Miller. Use the power through Luffield or Woodcote. Aleix Espargaro, what, 200 metres away?
Does hold on to take Aprilia's first podium in the as well. But they have all been smashed to pieces here today.
But for Cal Crutchlow, who takes the checkered flag in 17th place. He actually finished ahead of the 2 major problems late on for Valentino Rossi in Grand Prix history, but it's their first ever MotoGP podium.
It's great to see. Thumbs up from Albiciano.
Romano Albiciano there, the technical director at they have done here at Silverstone, that we finally get that first top 3. He was true to his word, but this man, Fabio Quartararo, 65 points clear of Joan Mir, Johann Zarco and Pecco. What a day in terms of the championship for Fabio Quartararo. A brilliant victory at the British Grand Prix. I'm sure we can
performance from both Fabio and Yamaha.
Yeah, super day. Most of our rivals really suffered today. So in terms of championship,
the Yamaha motor racing team boss in 2 weeks' time. Well, it says Raw on the bottom of his helmet, and there's
back to his best. That was an excellent ride from him, from 10th on the...
Absolutely brilliant job by the 22-year-old from Nice.
Well, his 5th win, no one can even come close to those statistics in...
No, he's the Yamaha 2015, and if you're being compared to Jorge Lorenzo on a factory Yamaha... Bad day for Joan Mir. Down to you, Simon.
Sahara-san, you made it through